Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 264 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day this year to be a better human being, a better version of ourselves. Why? That's the only person we can be a better version of. The only thing we can do on this planet and in this life is to be the best possible human being that we can be. And that's what this year's challenge is all about. Today's topic, focusing on spiritual health and well-being. I use a 9-part life framework, talk about this a lot, to kind of add some sense to this structure to what is otherwise pretty chaotic existence, chaotic life, right? Some people have really mellow, flowy lives, and mine is much more mellow than it used to be. But I started using this framework. It was a 7-part life framework until 2021 after I'd gotten some coaching. And then I added the areas of communication and contribution. You can see I added them on here after using this awesome graphic for ages. This is actually written backwards because I use an Android phone, and I have never switched, and they have not figured out how to switch writing around for us yet, like iPhone has, so I continue to write backwards, which is a really fun skill that I never thought I would need, but I'm pretty good at it now. So today we're talking about our soul and our spirit as part of our spiritual health and how that plays into it. I'm going to share some ways to tap into that and be more connected to that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I've listed. But first, let's get a definition of your soul or your spirit. It is, I'm going to read this because I actually looked one up. It's a concept refers to a person's immaterial essence or inner self, our non-physical part of us that gives us consciousness and identity, right? I'm never ceases to amaze me that some people don't realize that we all have this little voice going on in our head all the time. That is our subconscious mind. That is us leading us. That's our inner self communicating with us all the time. Some people are really good at blocking that out. Other people are excellent at tapping into that and using that to show up in the world in a way that is much more real and positive and authentic than if we're just showing up as human being robots going through the motions of our lives, right? So what are some ways that we can enhance? I guess I would love to know how you tap into and feel connected to your inner self, your inner knowing, your inner wisdom, your soul and your spirit. Now, I had a death experience 15 years ago. It's been 15 years now. I can't believe it. It's like I'm a teenager again. And that blew my mind and changed my whole belief system around, and not all of it, but it really reinforced what I believe when it comes to our inner self, our being. I call it our being. I think we're like big beings in little human being bodies, and that we are much more than our physical being. And my beliefs changed about that after I had my own experience, right? And so I think I have a different perspective. I definitely have a different perspective now than I did prior to that event. But I also think I have maybe a little bit different perspective than a lot of people. Not all people. There's a whole lot of smarter, wiser, more connected, more spiritual people than me out in the world. But there's also a lot of people that are sound asleep. So how do we make sure that we're connected to our inner knowing, our inner wisdom, our soul, and our spirit, so that we're doing things in alignment with who we really are and who we're really meant to be? I honestly believe that beings, the vast majority of us, are good, positive, and want to make the world a better place. And that there's a small fraction of evil that exists in the world because we live in a parallel universe where opposites exist. You know, there's gravity, there's positive and negative, there's the North Pole and the South Pole. And we just need to know what side of that line we're going to be on. And guess what? That's always a choice. We always choose how we want our life to work out. Whether we believe it or not, we get to choose, and what we're thinking about is what we're creating. So let's think about how we can connect to that inner wisdom, our soul, and continue to live in alignment with who we really came here to be. Well, number one, prioritize what's important to you, right? You have to know what your priorities are. Secondly, get plenty of rest and sleep. I got to tell you, there were a couple of decades in there when I was raising my kids where I ran on like 4 hours sleep. Literally for a couple of decades, between businesses, work, and raising my family, being married and trying to keep a household together, literally was sleep deprived for at least 2 decades. through my 30s and my 40s, pretty much no sleep. And then I dropped dead at 50, so that told me that I needed to change a whole lot of things. We want to laugh more and do more of what you love. How many people do you know and do you see, and maybe this applies to you, that are out there just grinding and squeaking through their life, but totally miserable? I think we all know people like that. Hopefully you're not hanging around with them, or that's how we become. Exercise and breathe. Get fresh air. Get out in nature. I don't know if that's on. I didn't even put that on here. But get out in nature. Let the sun shine on your face. It's amazing how regenerative and how therapeutic just being in nature is. Eat foods that energize you. It's one we can all improve a little bit on, I'm sure, me included, as I ate like 4 or 5 cookies yesterday. They were homemade cookies, so I use that as my justification for sweets. I'm like, if I make it, I can eat it. Drink lots of water, plenty of water. This is, again, prior to my sudden cardiac arrest, never drank water. I lived on a couple pots of coffee a day, literally couple pots of coffee a day, not little cups and pods, pots of coffee, 12 cup pots, a couple of those a day, and diet soda. Diet soda, I actually credit that and all the formaldehyde in it with me surviving my sudden cardiac arrest. I don't know if it's true, but I quit drinking pop a month before I had my sudden cardiac arrest. I went cold turkey and stopped drinking all soda. Have not had a soda since August of 2010. Pop, not even a sip of pop. I just knew that I needed to give it up. I actually gave up coffee 5 years after my sudden cardiac arrest until I had another health challenge, and I found out that coffee is actually good for my blood type, and I started drinking it again. But I still only have like a cup or two a day, which is better for me too. Anything in moderation, right? And then have a plan, but be flexible enough to know that life is going to throw us curveballs to see if we're serious or not. So don't freak out over every little thing that happens and every little curveball. Just know you're going to figure it out, and it might be actually a blessing in disguise that's showing you that the road you're going down isn't exactly for you. It might not be for you yet, or it might not be for you ever, but that's why things happen, to test us. All right, so what are we doing today? We are going to think about and connect to our spirit and our soul. What is the essence of who you are and your spirit? Share a couple of words to describe you in the comments below so we can get to know one another better and make it an awesome day. If I can help you in any way with this, hit me up and ask. I'm definitely not a soul or spirit expert, but like all human beings, we all have one, so we all have to learn how to work with ours. All right, have a great day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.